But the thing that perplexed me with the media is how we covered this campaign in this election cycle. And I have to specifically bring up one person that I've looked up to and that is amazing at what he does on the cultural side. But I think in politics, he showed a lot of interesting things in how he's portrayed himself. And that's Charlamagne Tha God, who is the co-host of The Breakfast Club. So there was this ad that the Trump campaign had going that was a transphobic ad. It was an anti-transgender ad, and it was talking about like sex change surgeries for prisoners, and they were using it to paint Vice President Harris. Hey, she's too extreme, she's too liberal. And the thing about it is that if you research it, like the whole entire situation that the ad was talking about deserves so much context. And they were just painting as, hey, she's too liberal, she can't get in, like she's going to do all these different things. And there was a segment of The Breakfast Club leading into the election where DJ Envy, a Hampton University alumnus, Charlamagne Tha God, and Lauren LaRosa, who's a Delaware State alum, they were talking about the commercial because they aired it during Sunday Night Football. They were aired it during the football games on Sunday. And yeah, Charlamagne, you had Envy, you had Lauren, like they were perplexed, they were exasperated by the ad, and they said, well, we don't want this to happen, saying that essentially the ad was effective. They weren't necessarily endorsing a candidate, but they were saying the ad was effective because it's scary, like, oh, we don't want this to happen with our tax dollars. And Charlamagne and Envy, they were used in an ad by the Donald Trump campaign to sort of push that narrative of, hey, this is what Vice President Kamala Harris is doing. She's too extreme for the office. So I want to read this directly from the New York Times, and the article is called How Donald Trump Won, How Kamala Harris Lost. So they poured still more money into the ads, running them during the football games, which prompted Charlamagne Tha God, the host of The Breakfast Club, a popular show amongst Black listeners, to express exasperation. And on-air complaints gave the Trump team fodder for yet another commercial. The Charlamagne ad ranked as one of Trump team's most effective 30-second spots, according to an analysis by Future Forward, Ms. Harris's leading super PAC. It shifted the race 2.7 percentage points in Mr. Trump's favor after viewers watched it. The ad cut to the core of Trump's argument that Ms. Harris was dangerously liberal, the exact vulnerability her team was most worried about. The ads were effective with Black and Latino men, according to the Trump team, but also with moderate suburban white women who might be concerned about transgender athletes in girls' sports. When I read that, Kaya, I was very upset because in the media, in what we do, and what we've learned within our discipline, what we say matters. What we do matters. The foundation of Black media is basically being informed about what's going on in our community and in the world. And one of the things I learned at Fort Valley State University, shout out to Miss Ellis, aka Mama Mia, a Radio Hall of Famer in the state of Georgia, is show prep. So you don't get on anything with broadcasting unless you are prepared and you know what's going on and what you're talking about. So you go in there, you express exasperation. This ad worked so effectively, and look what happened. Now we know that who Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club were supporting. We heard the audio town hall. I thought it was an amazing idea to do an audio town hall, but he was being used to push a narrative that was antithetical to what Vice President Kamala Harris stood for. And we see that the ad worked. This ad is going to go right up with Willie Horton. This ad is going to go right up with the Swift Boat veterans. This ad is going down in history. There might be college students that are going to learn about it in their communication courses 10 years from now because it clearly worked. 2.7 percentage points. That PAC fund, that was a Kamala Harris PAC. I just think that if we take anything away from this election, we have to know that what we say and what we do matters, especially in this profession. And I think that the media has a lot of culpability for what happened, including Charlamagne. So everybody has to hold the L because things like this happen.
It's not funny, but something I'm a big Megan Thee Stallion fan. And sometimes, because she's had her fair share of running with the media, people telling false stories about her and, how easy it is for people to believe that. She was like, y'all see some writing in some big, bold black font, and y'all just believe it. And that's honestly what this situation reminded me of. You hear this ad from this man and then all of a sudden you like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Not only did their comments show ignorance, it showed them not being well informed. And if I'm going to keep it 100%, it showed them being transphobic. So it just exposed all these things. And it's just like, I will say that I'm not a Trump supporter in the slightest, but you're right. It was extremely effective because people watch The Breakfast Club. So it's like you have this widespread audience that touches millions and millions of people, and you're sitting here commenting on something that doesn't really make any sense. And now look what happened. And I feel like we as journalists, especially Black journalists, we have to understand how much power our words hold and how influential we are. Because it's so easy, especially when there's millions and millions of people watching, how easy it is for something to get misconstrued or for the wrong narrative to be put out. Because once again, we're in this day and age where people aren't doing their research. So it's like if I see it on the Breakfast Club, that's like how people say they get their news from the shade room. If y'all don't watch the news, pick up. I know news print media is slowly dying out. If you don't get the news app on your phone, something you should. It's different if you're getting celebrity tea and gossip from the shade room, but actual news, like things going on in politics, things going on like that actually affect us. You should not be getting your news from the shade room or BuzzFeed or what's the other ones? No. The Breakfast Club? No. If you want to know what happened at the Baddies reunion, yeah, by all means, go to the chat room and get your tea, get in the comments. But real information, you need to get it from a credible source. And then and I understand, celebrities have major influence. That's why they're celebrities. But there's nothing that Charlamagne Tha God, DJ Envy, or whoever that other lady is, no disrespect to her, I don't know her, can tell me about politics. The man who got Rico for some fraud stuff can't tell me nothing about politics. I'm sorry. So it's like I feel like for some Black people in the media space, you can't be so. I'm trying to think of willy nilly is not the right word, but you know what I'm trying to say. You can't careless, especially when you have a big audience like that, and especially like you have, because like this is what 2024. A lot of Gen Z, this is their first time to vote, so a lot of them are watching the Shade Room and the Breakfast Club, and you also have to understand that they're impressionable. So they're still children. Even if they can vote now, they're still children. So it's so easy for them to be like, oh, okay, well, I've seen this on the Shade Room or I've seen this on the Breakfast Club, so it must be true. No. So it's just like for that to happen, it's honestly kind of sad. Not kinda, it is sad. Because you let your own transphobia, whatever you want to call it, you just it just it, you played into his hand, honestly. He wanted to cause a reaction, and you gave him a reaction. In turn, that reaction contributes to him winning. So it's like, and I honestly feel like too for a lot of people because they are in a certain tax bracket or they make a certain amount of money, they act like they will be exempt from certain things. No. When he said he's going to give people a tax break, he's talking about the Bill Gates, the Warren Buffetts, the Elon Musk, the Mark Zuckerbergs. He's not talking about you. So they have this notion in their head that, oh, because I might be an A-list celebrity or I'm, this, that, and third, that he's who I'm talking about. That you're what he's talking about. No. You too will see the consequences of your actions. whether you a celebrity or not. So, yeah, that was a bit much for me.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.